legislation that sort of lays out all these standards. Is that right?
That's correct. I was the lead sponsor on this legislation.
I guess, what's your response here today, seeing that those standards were the basis for this investigation, and now looking at if they're meeting those, as someone that wanted this legislation and is now seeing it in action? I mean, how does that work for you?
As far as feeling achieved as what the legislation was intended to achieve, I feel that it has stepped in the right direction toward curtailing the theft of copper. It's still a problem. It's been an epidemic problem, especially if you look at the number of churches and schools and businesses, homeowners that have been, that have been violated because of it. But I would like to give a lot of credit to the law enforcement agencies that have worked together, because they started back after this bill was drafted and enacted, put together a task force for Saline County, and they reached outside of Saline County to Pulaski County to form an effort. So I think that they have taken it, and today is evidence that it is something that can be put to good use to help curtail the theft of metal, at least hold people responsible who participate in the process.
And I guess today proves that it's not just paper and writing on paper. I mean, it is something that can be enforced and that law enforcement does enforce.
Right, and I think that by the fact that law enforcement has come together the way that they have shows that it is a tool that they can use to go out to identify the problem. As Sheriff Pennington stated a while ago, the undercover activity just showed that it is a problem, and this law gives them the opportunity to go and address that problem, and hopefully perhaps put somebody out of business that is not only buying, but also those who are bringing it, because you've got to have somewhere to sell it or to take it to, and so it addresses both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, it seems like the standards are directly related to the business end, because I guess if you don't have anywhere to sell it, then the problem sort of eliminates itself. You don't steal something unless you have a place to sell it. Right?
Exactly. If they're going to steal it, they've got to take a place to get rid of it. And hopefully what this law will do is it'll weed out the legitimate businesses from those who are not, from those who are willing to participate in an effort to curtail the theft of precious metals or of metals by being responsible when people come through their gates, make sure it is their property.
I guess speaking to his question, how long are they required to keep those records? How do they go about doing that? Just to clarify for businesses who may have that question.
Well, I'm going to kind of come around the back door on that answer. If I'm a business owner and I'm trying to be legitimate, I mean, I've still got my income tax records to the very first day that I filed an income tax return. So a business owner that's reputable will want to keep those records for a long time. As far as does the law stipulate how long they have to keep it? No, specifically it doesn't. But it is their responsibility to keep up with it, because once they receive it, they have to explain where it came from.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Other than I'd really like to commend the law enforcement. I mean, they have really taken the initiative. They've jumped on board with this. It's not only here in Saline County that this effort is being put forth, but Pulaski County and other counties, they are using it to their advantage to identify where the problem areas are.
I've spoken to a number of property theft detectives throughout Pulaski County, and while they agree that Act 1192 is the first step, a number of them still think it's kind of a toothless law. Some were hoping for harsher, more stricter restrictions for being able to sell copper in the first place, like licensing, being able to be licensed and registered to sell copper in the first place. Is that something worth exploring in the future? Because, I mean, I haven't taken a look at the month-to-month numbers, but it seems that the number of copper thefts seem to fluctuate more with the price of copper than whether or not this law is in place.
I think that the next session it is going to be up for examination, because just because we stop it here, they're going to take it somewhere else and sell it. And we are going to need to continue to examine this issue, because what they'll end up doing is they may end up taking it across the state line. So there's going to have to be a regional effort to participate with other states around us to where it eliminates the profitability of stealing it if all they got to do is go to the next county. I represent this county and I represent this district, and so this of course is my first concern, is what's happening right here. But we can't just, we've got to look at it as a statewide issue, but we got to look at it as a regional issue also.